I sat on the bay windowsill, watching him as he said, "We simply can't afford it." It was the first time I ever saw him crying. This was a man that was the tower of power to me as a 5-year-old. He was the fixer, the solver, and the caretaker to so many, but on this day, he stood in tears, looking at my mom and saying, "I'm trying to give you and the family everything you want, working hard, doing what I think I'm supposed to do, but I feel like I'm a disappointment in letting you down. That's the very last thing I ever want to do, disappoint the ones I love the most." I'm not sure that at 5 years old, I had any clue of what was happening, but what I did know was it had to do with money. It looked like my dad was being crushed by the burden of his expectations and his desire to be more in the eyes of the ones he loved the most. I wonder how often we feel this kind of weight from our own finances. In a recent study, the American Psychological Association found that 66% of people say that finances is one of their biggest stressors. That is a travesty and needs to change. My father was a hard-working, quiet man who always wanted to do what was right and take care of the people he loved. His single ambition was to provide for his family and give us a better life than he had growing up. He was raised in Iraq during a time of great persecution, risking his life to protect his family and others before he finally escaped to the United States to go to school and make a life. He always lived his life by the motto, "It's the right thing to do." So you can imagine thinking that he was letting those he loved down would have hit him hard. And it did. I started my own entrepreneurial journey at the age of 11, doing magic shows for kids' birthdays. Once I saw that I could make money doing what I loved while impacting people, I was hooked. Fast forward a couple more decades, and I had just embarked on a new entrepreneurial journey after an 11-year stint as a CPA. My partners had left me with $300,000 in debt, no cash, no business, and no clients. That year, my son, Jeremy, came to live with me, and I became a full-time single dad. Coincidentally, Jeremy was 5 years old at the time, and I was 34. Nearly the same age my dad had been during that fateful memory when I saw him cry for the first time. I was terrified. How could I possibly take care of this child? Fatherhood was a huge responsibility, and I felt clueless. But I knew I wanted to make sure I did right by Jeremy and that he was cared for and felt safe. I didn't want to let Jeremy down. Fueled by fear and a desire to give Jeremy everything I could, I did what most loving parents and entrepreneurs do. I dug in. I put my head down, worked tirelessly. I was running, and giving everything my all, believing every single investment of my time and energy was to provide everything we could ever need or want in this life. Soon I found clients and started building my business, and gradually success followed. As the cash began to flow, I thought I was doing well, both for myself and for Jeremy. I said to myself, "Look, we did it. We made it." It was finally all coming together, so I kept running. One day, Jeremy came home from school and he rushed in to see me like an excited kid on his birthday morning. Daddy, I drew a picture of you at school today." I stopped working to kneel down and take the drawing from his hand, curious about what he had created. What I saw stunned me. A blue stick figure glued to 2 computer screens with a phone in each ear and another ringing on the desk. It was as if Jeremy was holding up a mirror and saying, "This is you. This is how I see you, and this is who you are." You can see this drawing in the supplemental PDF. Jeremy's drawing was a wake-up call. I had been doing what many of us are used to, working nonstop because we believe that's the only way to fulfill the expectations of life. I was so fixated on money and providing for my family that I had lost sight of what truly mattered, being present and spending quality time with loved ones. It would have been easy for me to justify working so hard. I could have shaken off my son's drawing of me and explained, "But kid, this is for us. I've got to be on the phone, on the computer, and to do all these things so we can have the roof over our heads, so we can go to Disneyland, so we can do the things we want to do."